Thank you, Mary. Hello, everyone. Good morning. All right, I'm going to take you through field of study curricula, and then I'll run through a couple of other topics with you before you'll be done with me. Let me see if I can make the clicker work. There we go. All right. The field of study curricula are basically a set of lower division courses that the board has worked with faculty groups to devise that are guaranteed to transfer and apply to the lower division requirements for a baccalaureate degree in a given discipline area. Okay? There's a number of field study curricula that we developed. We started working on these in the early 2000s. I think the first one was about 2001, I'm going to speculate. We were already working on them when I came here in 2002, and we worked on them pretty solidly for several years and developed a number of curricula because the original legislation required us to develop a number of curricula within a set time frame. This tells you where you can find the statutes and the rules that affect the field of study curricula, but in a lot of ways they function similar to the way that the core curriculum functions, which is that you've got this chunk of coursework that fits within sort of this range of hours, and if a student successfully completes it, the state law and board rules guarantee that it's going to transfer from one public institution to another. There's my information if you'd like to ask me more questions about these. And we'll go on to next topic. The Common Course Numbering System and the Academic Course Guide Manual. Common Course Numbering System has been around for a long time, since the 80s. As I understand the history, it began as an effort by the Gulf Coast Consortium and the institutions in the Gulf Coast Consortium to try and promote transfer by identifying basically similar courses. One institution at what course at institution X is similar to the equivalent course at institution Y. Okay? The coordinating board and state law supports and backs the Common Course Numbering System, but it is not a strictly state effort. It is actually a voluntary association sponsored by TACRO, the registrar's organization. The requirement in board rules is that all of you folks in the public two-year institutions are required to use the Common Course Numbering System as your numbering system. For the universities, they're required to provide a crosswalk. There are a few universities that have adopted at least the rubric and numbering system. I know West Texas A&M University, for example, has adopted it. But for the universities, all they have to do is provide a crosswalk in their catalog so that students or you, people that work at the colleges, can go through and identify which are the common courses at, say, UT Arlington or A&M Kingsville. It's also worth noting that the Common Course Numbering System, unlike some other things like the ACGM, is a full-on public-private partnership. There are a number of private universities and colleges that are members of TCCNS and participate on the TCCNS board. A few other things to note about common course numbers. Again, the idea is to promote transfer so that we can all recognize which courses are equivalent to others. But note that it's lower division academic courses only. The WECM has its own numbering system, as you WECM folks well know, and that was purposeful. We didn't want confusion about which courses are intended to apply to which types of degrees and certificates. The Academic Course Guide Manual works hand in hand with the TCCNS. The ACGM has adopted the TCCNS rubrics and numbers, and we use that as the organizing scheme for the manual. It's alphanumeric by the disciplines. Little more detailed than in the Common Course Numbering System, right? And Common Course Numbering System is essentially just the letters and the numbers. ENGL 1301. That's it. It doesn't tell you what should be in the course, because in the Common Course Numbering System, folks at your institutions they self-identify which courses are similar. And that's true for the universities as well. For the ACGM, there's set content. Okay? So we were going to take that ENGL 1301 and we're going to specify, here's this course description, here's the topics you need to be teaching in the course. Now, For select courses, including English, we now have learning outcomes as well. So now we're going to say, upon completion of the course, here are the knowledge, skills, and abilities that a student should have earned if they've passed the course. Note that the TCCNS system is run by a board, which functions kind of like a committee. They've got 2-year and 4-year representation, public and private. So too for the ACGM Advisory Committee that we run. We have equal numbers of 2-year and 4-year, just the publics, but we've got technical colleges, community colleges, universities. Don't really have very often the way any health-related institutions. They don't offer very much in the way of lower division courses. Unique need courses, they're worth talking about. Because if something isn't fitting into the Common Course numbering system and it's not a part of the ACGM, but it's an academic course and you have a need to offer it, this is your vehicle to do that. So for all of those specialized articulation agreements that you have with universities where you need a course that's not in the ACGM in order to fulfill that articulation agreement, that's essentially what this is for. So you can fulfill those special needs that your institution and your students have to fulfill the articulation agreements that you have with your transfer partners. Notice that, again, this, just like the ACGM, lower division, academic only. Again, the WECM has their own local needs process that's separate. And the transfer threshold is fairly high. 3 or more public universities must be willing to accept the course in transfer and, it's a big and, apply it towards a degree requirement. Okay? That's really worth noting. This isn't about electives. This isn't about things that are nice for students to take. These are for things that students need and have to have in order to successfully complete a baccalaureate degree. Coordinating board rules. Listed there, most of the ACGM rules are going to be in Chapter 9. Some of the transfer rules are also found in Chapter 4. Here are your resources. The Common Course numbering system has a great website. You can go through and plug in a rubric or a number and search and find out, of course, most of the colleges are going to offer that course, but which of the universities offer that equivalent course? This is a good tool to find that. The ACGM is now available, and I would note it is now available at long last in an online searchable format. So we've got it into a database. Yes, I've been promising it to you, I know, for 2 or 3 years now. It is now a reality. It's up on the website. It is currently available. And finally, if you ever need to check your unique need inventory, yes, you can call me up and I'll tell you, but you can also just search it yourself. It's also available there on that webpage. I want you to note that at long last, after more than a decade, I have turned over the ACGM to my capable staff colleague, Rebecca Leslie. She can't be here today because she's at the TCCNS board meeting up in Dallas. So I'm giving this presentation in her place, but she'll be happy to help you with any TCCNS or ACGM related questions.